dental assistant or being a receptionist or nurse. You can be a truck driver if you want.
and be pissing in the bottle just like the guys do.
Right, right. And like you were saying, there's more women switching fields. It's a lot more women truck drivers nowadays too, because it's not, I'm not gonna say it's easier, but women are doing a lot more different things as far as, I guess, jobs that you would never think they would work. Like, it's the field. I mean, I don't want to say that. It's just more open, wide open. Like, women feel like they can do just about as much stuff as a man can
They
do.
can. They can.
And I don't think it always was like that. Like, you would think you wouldn't want to be in that field, but I think it's more information out there. You can kind of see the data, and people are doing things that they wouldn't normally do, and it working out.
Now, with women with truck driving, I may sound like a what you
And
call
this
a
is why
bigot.
they weren't doing it. But go ahead,
I
go
may
ahead.
sound like a bigot, but I believe women are born with ovaries. Correct.
That's correct.
I believe some women get pregnant. Correct.
That's correct.
I believe a woman may her body incubates and creates a another person. Correct.
Correct.
And I believe some women like to be around that little person a lot. Correct.
That's correct.
Can you do that while driving trucks?
Mm,
Long distance.
it's hard. If you're going to be a truck driver, you're probably not going to have. Well, you can have a baby, but you're going to have to take some time off and then jump back into it if you want to.
It would.
Like,
I would
hmm?
love to have a woman truck driver come up here and talk about their life,
Right. I've seen a lot on
especially.
YouTube just because I used to look at some of the trucking stuff, and that'll filter in, and they're doing that. Before, I guess it wasn't as many. Well, I'm not even gonna say that because a lot of women do manual transmissions too, like the shifting gears and everything like that too. So it's man, women are doing that now, and it's a lot easier than doing some other jobs. Like, it's just driving, and women can drive. We're not going to get on here and say women can't drive. And driving a truck is serious,
Hmm.
so you got to be able to drive. And they don't have a problem with it, and they see us. You can make a lot of money that way, so you don't have to necessarily be working as a dental assistant or being a receptionist or nurse. You can be a truck driver if you want.
And be pissing in the bottle just like the guys do.
Right, right, because that's a part of truck driving life. But
Pissing in the
and how do you know
windshield.
about
Right.
that? Well, what I'm just saying, that's a big thing in truck driving. Like, you're gonna have a pee bottle because you're gonna be on the road, and you ain't gonna always have a truck stop, or you ain't gonna always feel like getting out. Going to a truck stop and using the bathroom.
How did you manage your number two?
You have to watch what you eat. And usually I would do a whole trip and not have to do it, and I'll get home. I never was out on the road like that, like, gone for 2 weeks or whatever. But I definitely not trying to take no number two or no during truck stop, or take a shower in no truck stop. But that's a life people, do, and they get accustomed to that. They do have some clean bathrooms, but I ain't trying to do that.
Well, I had like a schedule where like if I wasn't, I telework now, but
Mhm.
before you have to watch what you eat because I don't want to use the
Right,
bathroom
right.
when I don't have a good opportunity to use the
Right,
bathroom.
right, right. So you gotta be careful what you eat, especially on the road, because the food is not good, and you get your stomach tore up, and you just on the road driving or stuck in traffic or something like that. So I always watch what I eat, because
What you used to eat?
back then,
I'm talking about this
just
your long distance driving. What you used to eat?
you would well, what do we do? I would just bring some snacks, some fruit or something like that, and some nuts, and get something on the road. Like, we used to do restaurants, and sometimes, like, for certain ones, the Applebee's, we were cool with them, so they'll give some chicken tenders and fries, and that would be my meal for the day.
Told you,
And
boy. I tell you, boy, your guts, your poop was probably stinking like a motherfucker eating that bad
but
food.
see, I would be eating it on the way back, and I would be fine. I'd be like, all right, cool. I'd save it, but I would eat right before I get there, get my food, and then on the way back I'll be trying to eat it, and then, when you get home, you be straight.
You ever
But
talk to your ex riding
I take
partner?
some. I take some the other day, just to see how he was doing and stuff like that. He still, I think he still work for the company. I ain't asked him that, but you ride with a bunch of different people,
Oh,
and
you
some
ride
of,
with different people.
well, you have a main partner, but when you first start, you have a bunch of different random people you ride with. So
And
I got a
how long you used to go out?
how long?
Yeah.
Probably the longest trip. I did a Florida. You do a Florida run sometimes, and you would go all the way to Miami. Like I would start out driving. You drive 7.5 hours till your time run out. Then he take over. You go to sleep. He'll drive, and then by the time you get down to Miami, it's time to work. So you start working, and when it's that long, it's probably like four stops, and it'd be Texas Roadhouse. So you would do all your stops, and you'd be driving back home after you finish. When you switch in times, so
So
it'd be about,
you drive home empty.
yeah, you'll unload all the food and stuff and the products, and then you drive empty. You drive back empty
Why you driving back empty?
because we wouldn't be picking up anything. It wasn't like one of those. Like sometimes you'll get a back haul and you'll bring something back, and that does happen. And you'll switch they'll load your trailer up with some food or whatever. But you didn't necessarily want to do that just because you've been making enough money and you want to save your time and make it back. Because if you get a back haul, that could take about 5 hours to load, depending on what's going on at the factory.
But you
So
get
you be
more
trying.
money, right? You get more money
It's not
hauling.
worth it. Like they'll give you like $125 on the back haul, and your time is just you be ready to get home. Like with that, I'm ready to get back home. I done made enough money. I've been gone for 2 days. I don't
Uh-huh.
want to. I don't, and then you have to drive back too.
How
So,
much money you used to make in 2 days?
mm, I don't.
Cause
It it
your wife be talking. Yeah, you made some good money.
I did make good money. I'm trying to think. Like it was the way it was set up. Like it all depends. Like I can make. I have to try to break it down, but the most I probably making about 50 to 65,000 a year, like depending on the weight and how much I work if I do the extra. So you're making good money, but on a trip like that, it'd be a lot of money, and it'll add up a bunch of different things. It's depending on how much the trailer weighed, and just a bunch of different stuff like that. How much stuff you're unloading. So
You
it
ever
all
got
depends. I
pulled
can't.
over?
I never got pulled over. I had a blowout. If you have a blowout, this is funny. I was just telling my daughter about that. Like I have a blowout on my tire. You would think you would want to call AAA and have them repair it, right? That would be the right thing to do.
Nah, you keep rolling till you get there.
I'm like, man, I'm just gonna go home. But you have to go through check stops and all that kind of stuff. So
Oh, they will tag you if you have a blown
yeah, if you
wheel.
have a blowout and you go through one of them checkpoints or whatever, you can get a fine. Hold on one sec.
Oh,
What's up,
okay.
bro? Hmm? And we'll stop in about 7 minutes. We're gonna wrap it up. 7 minutes. So set a timer for 7 minutes. I'll be done. But no, if you go on a checkpoint, because you see it like on the highway where the trucks have to
Yeah,
pull into those things. The weigh station, that's what it is, a weigh station.
every
So
50, 80 miles, wherever.
right.
Yeah.
So one time I had a blown out tire, and I was like, because it take a long time for somebody to come and get you. So you like I'm just gonna try to make it home. So I came up to a weigh station. You don't have to necessarily go in the weigh station, but if listen, and this let me tell you, if you're an up and coming truck driver, do not listen to this information. We was doing a lot of stuff that we shouldn't have been doing just because that's the kind of company we were working for. But if you pass by a weigh station, you can go into it and get checked. But if you pass through it and a officer comes behind you, you have to go back over. You have to go back. But if nobody pull you over, you're fine. So sometimes you'll see
So,
trucks.
so are you be checking for the opposite car in front?
Usually I'll just go. Usually I'll just go, but sometimes they'll load you with too much, and you just have to try to avoid it. That's just how it is. They'll just get the fine, and the company will pay for it. Like you'll go through a weigh station, and you're overweight, and they'll be like, you
why
can't go
you
anywhere.
why you let them run you overweight? That's on your
It's
record.
but let me tell you something. It's nothing you can do. Like I'll come in, the truck's already loaded. They'll tell you how much the weight they think the weight is, and you just have
Yeah,
to go.
correct.
And you get out there, it's just too much. So you can either try to unload it. I've never had anything like that to happen to me, but it's happened to some people.
At my
And
old
one
job, They didn't
Go
weigh
ahead.
no trucks. They estimate
Yeah,
all the
you'd
loads. They
estimate,
estimate.
and that's your money. Like how much the truck weighs. That's how much money you get. So
Uh huh.
they can kind of play with that kind of stuff too. But one time I went through Virginia and I couldn't go because we the company had so many fines in Virginia. I had to wait till they paid it, and I was calling the office and nobody was there. And I finally got somebody to call and make the payment so I could go. I probably had to wait there 2 hours, and you already trying to work and get started before the sun come up. So it's just part of trucking.
When you'll be back in the truck.
Mm. And when I own one, and
Well,
I'm
shit,
my
that'd be
name
the worst.
being
That'd be the worst one.
right. I'll do it one day. I'll drive it home and let somebody else drive it. But that's it's I love driving trucks, but that's a rough industry. If you like your time, that ain't for people who like the time and want to relax and stuff. You gotta be rolling. You gotta be away from your family if you want to make some money.
Well,